Welcome to the Science of Fishing, where we break down the bite. Before we get started, big shout out to our sponsor, Bloody Battery, for powering this episode.
What's going on, everybody? Mark here with another episode of the Science of Fishing. Today, we're talking about my favorite thing to do, meat fishing, but in particular, we're talking with the guys that make money doing it. Over the course of the Pompano Beach Saltwater Circuit, the guys are grabbing $600K in cash and prizes. Today, we're joined by the Fish Blue Water crew, and we're talking with Tournament Director Jamie Bunn, Captain Alex Burgess, and Captain Blake Selznick from Maxed Out. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing today?
Good. What's up, Bubba?
Good. So we've gone through 2 tournaments already, right? We've gone through the Shootout and the Slam, and we're coming up to the Showdown. So, Jamie, tell me what's going on, what's going down at the Slam coming up.
Yeah, so we're right here at the turn, just like we were in the previous podcast with you and the Quest for the Crest. I think this gentleman was actually a part of the at the turn, weren't you?
I was.
And the Quest for the Crest, as they were in the hunt for the burgundy jacket, and now obviously they find themselves, no surprise to me, with the Living Water Making Time guys in the hunt for a set of those very prestigious Showdown Crown rings, of which Mark, who's the boat owner of the boat, has 2 sets of rings to his name, right? And you have...
I have 2 as well.
2 as well. So they're looking to potentially make this their first ring together. And then Blake over here, obviously, he takes a little bit of a different approach with his team, which is what I love about our summer series. Is we really try to do everything that we can to create an opportunity for teams that have maybe different interests, different skill levels, et cetera, et cetera. And so we've got the big fish categories that some teams will chase, and we have the big bag, which is the aggregate weight. And Blake's had some success here coming into the first 2 tournaments with his Maxed Out team on some big fish stuff that we'll talk about here today.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Well, before we get into the upcoming tournament, Alex, I want to talk to you about what went down at the Shootout and the Slam. But let's start off with the Shootout. So you've made almost $100,000 that tournament, right? You were chasing the big bag division and then the pick 3. You got second in the big bag and you won the pick 3.
Correct.
Tell me about the mindset going into that tournament, what went down, and kind of, how you were targeting certain species, especially for that pick 3.
We're just doing the standard king fishing in the morning. The fish were in Juneau that tournament, and we just happened to get lucky while we were king fishing, and Kobe ate one of our flat lines, and when it was coming up, it was just sliding up like it wasn't even a big fish or anything, and I looked over and it just swimming straight at the boat. I'm like, what is that? And it turned sideways, and I saw it was Kobe, and I was like, didn't even get excited because didn't expect it to be legal, because there's no legal ones around anymore.
How big was it?
It was 38 inches, I think, 18 pounds maybe.
Okay.
But we put it in the boat and we got pretty excited. Didn't get too excited because we still needed to get the tuna. We got our kings by like 10:30, 11, and then we went tuna fishing and struggled for about 2 hours. And then one of the boats south of me started catching some, so we just kept doing the same drift and finally started getting bites, and didn't catch a ton, but we caught the right ones. And I think we beat that other boat by 2 pounds.
As far as
the pick 3.
Yeah,
we know about that.
All right, listen. I said it on the microphone, and I'll say it here on camera again. These guys have had great success. So, and I'm super happy that they won what they won. But I was not rooting for them to win the pick 3, because we had a small boat. These guys were on like a 24-foot Mako. They were the epitome of like, the average Joe semi-pro team, guys just getting together, scraping it together, making it happen. And they had a pretty good catch. They had the king, the cobia, the tuna. They had a couple other fish, and man, they were standing around at the weigh-in at the cove. The whole family was there. They were pumped up, excited, and I had a pretty good idea at that point, from what I knew that they weighed, that it was going to be super close. And literally, we wouldn't know until I got back into the office the next day and really crunched the numbers.
Right.
Because everybody wants to know the answer, but the last thing that we want to do is get somebody on cloud 9, only to find that our math on the microphone was wrong.
Yeah.
And then the next day I got to tell Alex, or I got to tell the guys on Mark H2O that they didn't win.
What was the difference?
it was literally like he said. I mean, it was I think less than 2 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And ironically enough, the story that I had told at the award ceremony, these guys being the elite kingfishermen that they are, Mark H2O actually had a better kingfish than them. They had like a 37-pound king in the tournament.
Oh, wow.
And they had a cobia that was very similar. What killed them was they had like a teenager tuna, and they had, I think you have
26
mid-20s or whatever.
Right.
And so that was the swing that won them the 87,000, plus they had a bag of almost 226 pounds, finished second place overall, and a $97,000 payout to go with their $163,000 payout from February in the Sailfish Challenge.
You gave him that check on the show?
Yeah. This Mark, I'm sure he's not looking forward to his tax return in 2025.
Right. Ready to see the water like never before? Shady Rays is giving out an amazing deal for the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code SCIENCE for 35% off. Hit the water with confidence in Shady Rays sunglasses built to cut glare and deliver pro-level clarity. Their polarized lenses sharpen your vision so you can spot every ripple and movement even in harsh light. Lightweight and ultra comfortable, they stay put no matter how rough the conditions. And with loss and broken protection, you're covered from day one. Not satisfied? Return or exchange for free within 30 days, no risk. Go to shadyrays.com and use code SCIENCE for 35% off. So Alex, it sounds like you ruin a lot of people's days, but your day's great.
Yep.
Well,
That's right.
Blake, you're newer. You've been fishing the series, for the last 3 years?
Yeah, so I've been fishing for like 3 years, but this is the first year I'm fishing it on my boat.
Awesome, man. So during the shootout, you guys had biggest fish, right?
Yep.
What was it, 40?
49.
49.
Yep.
Okay. Talk to me about, fishing for biggest fish rather than the aggregate. What's the mindset there? Why that versus, the ag? What's going on and what's going on in your brain while you're fishing?
Yeah, so just throughout the years, I've noticed that my team is really good at like getting that one really good fish, and then the other fish are not small, but they're not big weighers. So I was like, we should probably fish big fish, see if we can get some money, because I'm seeing our big fish would get up there in the money, but these other weighers aren't helping the bag enough.
Mm-hmm.
So it really came down to signing up at the sign-up sheet. I was like, all right, we're going to fish, big fish this year. With that, I mean, we like big baits, So caught our 49-pound king before, I think it was 7:59, I think is when we caught our 49-pound kingfish. So we were stoked. Caught a lucky tuna.
Still a pressure off in the day. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was amazing. We had a lucky tuna off that ledge, is 27 pounds. Caught him and another 15-pound kingfish, all before 8:30 in the morning.
Wow.
So we're all super stoked. Definitely got a great start to the day. When I left Juneau, because we're close to them, fishing on the same ledge, we made a pretty bad error because we didn't record our tuna, and he had to have your fish on video for the big jackpot. So we weren't able to target, cobia as hard. But we ran the beach, see if we could see one. Didn't find any. Then set up off of Lake Worth and leveled up the rest of our fish just to help our bag out. But I knew pretty early on with that 49-pound kingfish that we're sitting pretty well.
That's awesome. So you say you like big baits. What'd you catch that 49 on, if you could tell us?
That was I'll tell you, it's no secret. It's big blue runner.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, they won over 18,000 in that tournament, just off of their big fish money, which would have been 5,000 for the heaviest fish overall. Right. And then there's some Calcutta money that obviously they would have fallen into, plus some other pure kingfish categories and stuff. So I think, we implemented that going back like 2 years ago. And I feel like it's one of the things that we have implemented along with some other categories for small boat and stuff, where I really am starting to see participation like as a result of that specific stuff that we've done. Like people that are coming in and just going after that big fish.
Right.
We're seeing more small boats come in now, because of some of the incentive that's there for some of the small boat stuff that we've added on to over the years. So, it feels good to it's hard to, there's a lot of variables. It's, there's a lot of tournaments anymore. There's a lot to consider when you figure out, what it takes to actually convince somebody to come out and be a part of an event, unless they're like Alex and those teams that's their life. That's what they do. That's, and, but we want, the everyday teams. And I'm not necessarily suggesting that Blake's just the everyday team, but we need those teams in the tournament to really create the kind of environment that we want.
Right. So question for you, you mentioning that, is there an increase in the weekend warrior going into the big fish division, or more so the aggregate over what you've seen?
I would say definitely there's been a trend of, I think, more of the teams that probably have decided, like, the likelihood of them trying to put together, 170 to 200 pound bag is not as great. However they approach the tournaments, maybe they have, changeover with their team members. The chemistry might not be as tight. That big fish approach is favorable for them because, there's a level of skill involved in catching any fish, right?
Right.
But there's a high level of skill involved with being able to put together a 200 pound bag,
right.
And so, yes, I would say a lot of the teams that are coming in that kind of are more representative of, the average kind of team that might fish, whatever, 2, 3, 4 times a month. I think that, yes, those teams are kind of investing themselves more in the big fish versus the aggregate weight.
Well, that makes sense. So, so since we're talking about big fish, Blake, let's go to the second tournament, the Slam. You got second place in that one, right? With almost a 30 pounder, I believe. Again, was it kind of the same mindset from the first tournament? Just like go after that one fish, or what were you guys looking to do? Were you guys going after, the trifecta or, the pick 3 for that tournament, or what was going down?
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely try more for that big bite because, early in the day, if you don't have that big king, if you have 4 weighers, you're going to go try to get tunas to increase that. But we won't move on if we don't have a giant king. So, it's big baits. The Slam was a tough one for us. We actually lost the motor for most of the tournament. So we were stuck pretty much where we were. Luckily, made a great call in the morning, and we set up right on a school of decent fish, caught 2 really nice kings. And then that one motor kind of just held us in that area, and the bite moved away, and we're only able to do, he was 10 miles an hour till like 2 p.m. So I was able to fix it because the seas had to lay down. It was a rough day, and I'm on a 27-foot boat. Right. So, when you're dealing with 4-footers that are trying to come into the motor cowling when you're taking the motor cowling off, can't really do that. So I was able to take it apart and fix it. But at that point it was, 1:30, 2 p.m. So couldn't really find them on that, but got the 2 big fish early again. We're kind of hesitant because, we had heard of good fish being caught, but showed up to weigh in and end up placing pretty good.
Right. So you're in a 27. Question for you. Do you get intimidated by the guys with 40, plus foot boats, and what's the thought process there?
I mean, we're definitely a bit of an underdog. My team is myself, my girlfriend, a buddy, and his girlfriend, and 2 of our other buddies. So are we on the 42-foot cat with 8 of the top-notch tournament fishing guys? No. But, David and Goliath type story. We're always trying to come out on top. So, yeah, we do what we can, and I think we've been doing pretty good at it.
That's awesome, man.
Hey, you cash checked in two out of 2 tournaments, so
yeah,
not a bad gig.
Our lady anglers have been killing it this year. So, when I say that I got my girlfriend and my buddy's girlfriend, the girls have been running laps around the guys.
It was one of your lady anglers that caught the big king, the 40 king in May.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, I thought so.
There you go.
And wasn't that her first kingfish ever?
That was her biggest kingfish.
That was her biggest kingfish ever. I knew that it was a first for something, but
yeah, we had biggest kingfish and biggest tuna for both lady anglers that day. So
that's awesome.
That's awesome. Good time.
Best day to do it,
Yeah. That tournament, you guys took first for the big bag, right?
Correct.
So tell me about that tournament. Walk me through the day and what happened.
So our pre-fish day went pretty terribly, and at the around 11 o'clock, it might have been 1 o'clock actually, I got a report from the overkill guys of where the fish were, and I couldn't tell anybody on the boat because we have one guy on our boat, not going to mention his name, but he's going to tell the whole fleet You're calling her out.
I'm pretty sure I know who that is.
He's going to be watching right now.
So I literally didn't tell the whole team where we were going until we got there that morning on Saturday. And it paid off. We caught a 34-pound king 10 minutes after we started fishing, and then picked away at 3 more fish within the first, I think we had our fish by 9 o'clock, our kings. And then we ran, I think we had a 40-mile run south to get back to the tuna grounds, and kind of got there too early, honestly. We fished from 11 till 2 o'clock without catching a tuna, and then in the last 2 hours we caught 5. And I knew they were there, so we literally did the same drift like 8 times and got our tunas, and it's pretty exciting getting the 4th one, because slam can be iffy on the tunas. Sometimes you're looking for 2, and the last couple of years have been really good. People getting 4 every time. And
yeah, I mean, I think I can't remember. You'll remember better than I do because you were fishing against them. But I do remember. You always see a bit of a drop off in terms of like the size of the bags that's weighed in for the aggregate from May to June. But 177 or whatever you guys weighed is a solid number for June. And there was 3 or 4 boats that were up there in that 150 plus range, I believe. Correct?
Yeah. I remember it used to be 4 kings and 1 or 2 tunas when I was doing it in my SeaVee and with Penniless. And now it's the same with the shootout. If you don't have 4 and 4 and all really good fish, you're not there anymore.
Right.
And I think the tuna fishing has gotten a little bit better over the years. Like the charter guys are still catching tunas right now, and I think we're going to see a few caught in the showdown.
I just saw somebody post up, or was Tommy Twyford.
He caught 5.
Was out with his dad. They had, whatever that little club tournament was that they had. Yeah, they had like 4 nice blackfins, man.
Yeah, that was that. That's a cool tournament. They do. They fish Friday and then they go golf Saturday, and your fish points subtract off your golf score.
Wow. Yeah, fins and skins, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay,
that's interesting. What do you think's making the tuna stick around?
Definitely not the sharks.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know. I don't really see anything different. Water's been really clean. So, I mean, that storm that's out there right now did send a groundswell, so hopefully that doesn't mess things up too much. It's supposed to have swell for like the next 2 days.
Oh, really? The weeds seemed like it cleared up.
Yeah, we had enough west wind. They're still there. They're just a little bit offshore.
Okay. So when I traveled to the Abacos last week, everybody was crying the blues about the weed, but it really wasn't bad running from there across and coming back. I don't know what the beaches look like, but
yeah, it was when I fished Friday and we're there, but it was very fishable. Just every once in a while you come through a little bad spot and either reel them in and put them back out, or just do a reset and you'd be back in clean water.
How's bait fishing right now?
It was really good up until that swell showed up.
You got any numbers you want to share with the guys at home? I tried, guys. I tried.
With the guys at home, we're going to share a quick message from Coolabar about sun protection.
For over 20 years, Coolabar has been your trusted partner, delivering world-class sun protection designed to keep you out longer and fishing stronger. Our gear is designed by captains for serious anglers and boaters, blending top-tier performance with unparalleled sun safety. Whether you're reeling in the big one or navigating sun-drenched waters, Coolabar is built to perform, so you can stay focused on the moments that matter most. Live your passion, trust your gear, and protect your skin with Coolabar, the leader in UPF 50+ apparel, keeping you safe, comfortable, and ready for anything under the sun. Shop now at Coolabar.com.
All right, guys, we're here back with Elijah and Jamie. Elijah is from Coolabar, who we just talked about. Elijah, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great. Very happy to be here today with you guys.
We've talked a lot about what's going down during the series right now. We want to talk about Coolabar and what you guys are doing with Jamie. Jamie, talk to me a little bit about, Coolabar, their mission. And Elijah, I'd love for you to chime in when possible about all this, and you guys working together throughout this series.
Yeah, so Elijah reached out. We've had some contact through other brand partners over the years that he's been involved with, and fortunately for us, Elijah, was really familiar with Fish Blue Water and Blue Water movements and the caliber of the events that we do and the audience that we reach. And so, in his role at Coolabar on the product development side. He had reached out just to see if there was any opportunities for them as an apparel brand. And, as luck would have it, we actually did have the category open up last season, and we had a great conversation. And I was not familiar with the product, as I said, but as I learned more about them and learned more about their UPF mission, I felt like for our summer series, obviously where sun exposure is significant, that they could be a great brand, and we'd ultimately let the anglers decide how they felt about the product. And as you can see, I'm wearing it now, and we've had tons and tons of compliments, and that's not just sales talk. I mean, we have had a lot of people that have said they really appreciate the comfort and the feel of the fabric. But I'll let Elijah speak to the technical side, because I feel like it's important. Obviously, a high level item for the brand, but certainly the most important is their mission, which is to protect people's skin and try to do what they can to prevent sun cancer.
Absolutely. Elijah, I know y'all's mission is centered around sun protection. Tell me a little bit more about that, and what makes it different from other UPF protective gear.
So I've known about Jamie's tournaments for years and years now, and it's really an honor to have an opportunity to sponsor. And I have a ton of respect for the community that he and his family have built in the South Florida area around a number of game fish species at this point. So it's really a pleasure for us to step in and protect all of the anglers from the sun this year. Like you said, Coolabar, our mission straight ahead is to protect people from skin cancer and other sun-related skin conditions. As a captain here in South Florida, it's something my family is very familiar with. Both my parents have had skin cancer. My uncle's had more instances than any of us can count at this point. Half of his ear is actually missing from skin cancer. And we had some really close family friends, big fishermen, big golfers. And the father developed skin cancer here behind his ear, actually, and it ended up taking his life. We were close to them when I was young, so it was impactful to me to see that something we enjoy so much and something that feels so natural to us can have some really serious side effects as the years pull by, especially when we're all on the water just about every weekend or more than that. The thing that I love about Coolabar so much is the testing and the trust that they bring to the table in this fishing apparel kind of space. So on all of our shirts, all the stuff we made for the tournament, anything you'd buy on our website, we actually keep samples of that fabric on hand for over 10 years. So if you were to come back to me in 5 years and say, hey, I got this shirt from the tournament, and I just got a sunburn, we can test it. We still have that fabric, and we can ensure that the actual roll of fabric that we cut and sewed that shirt from did pass that UPF 50. And even after all this time, it's still going to provide that protection for you. So we guarantee all of our clothes for what we call the normal life of a garment, which is about 40 hard washes. And if you fish in a shirt 40 times and you wear it well and you wash it 40 times, most shirts are going to come back just threads. And ours are there to keep you safe for years and years to come.
I was just going to say, I don't know if I'm getting a little too deep or technical with this, but if it's something that you is in your lane and you're capable of answering, I think it would probably be of interest to a lot of people that might watch this video, which is like, how do you make a fabric that becomes a shirt? How does it get the UPF protection? How does that? Is it chemically, kind of infused into the fabric? Is it special fabric? Like, how does it get you UPF protection?
100%. So when I'm designing shirts for fishing and boating, the first thing I think about is the usage, right? So when we're out on the water, we need a few things. Obviously, the sun protection. We also need moisture wicking so we don't sit and sweat all day. We need something that's stretchy and comfortable as we're, reeling in or we're reaching for a gaff shot. And then we also need antimicrobial defense, because if you get some blood on a shirt or get some slime on a shirt and you throw it in the bed of your truck for even a few hours. A lot of these polyester shirts that you'll find out there will get what we call permastink, which is an odor that never washes out because the threads are so tight that those tiny little molecules that smell really, really bad never make it their way out of the fabric. So when I'm developing a fabric, I have a few options in terms of that UPF 50 protection. The first is going to be the weave. So if you look at a shirt right now, I'm wearing our Nassau fishing shirt, also the shirts we made for the tournament. You'll notice even when you stretch them and hold them up to light, they have a very, very tight weave. They have very thin threads that offer a lot of, let's call it physical or mechanical protection from the sun, not letting those rays through. Additionally, we do different things with elements like zinc, compounds like zinc. So we'll either integrate it at the thread level and actually weave it into the fabric of the shirt, or we'll apply it like a protective treatment on top of the fabric that's very, very durable and PFAS free. That will provide an additional layer of protection if we decide to go with a very, very lightweight fabric.
Okay.
So we've got a lot of different arrows in our quiver, and we're very use-based, trying to make your experience on the water the best that it can be.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. So where can people find Coolabar if they want to try out some of the product?
Totally. So you can find us on our website, www.coolabar.com. You can also find us on Amazon. Some of our products can even be to you with Prime shipping in just a couple of days. And you can find us in a select assortment of retailers across the country.
And the product line wise, obviously I'm wearing, the standard kind of long sleeve fishing shirt that, a lot of guys would wear while they're offshore fishing. Some with hoodies, some without hoodies. I know you guys make a full coverage fishing style hat that provides a lot of protection as well. But product wise, well, I'll also say the button downs, man, that you guys made for us for our committee shirts. Amazing. Like the fabric, so comfortable. My brother-in-law literally said, as my mom gave him a shirt. In fact, she's the queen of giving shirts to people, regardless of whether she tells me about it or anything. So he's like, yeah, your mom gave you one. I'm like, yeah, how many more did she give you? I mean, I'm not surprised because she's the t-shirt queen. But he said that was the most comfortable button-down shirt that he's ever worn. So I got a little sidetracked, but I'm just curious before we wrap this, is there any other unique products in the apparel line or anything for Coolabar that you would want anybody watching this video to know about, or anything coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, so we have a couple really cool products for 2025 that have just come out. We have our new Fisher Island shorts, which are great whether you're an inshore guy or an offshore guy. They give you a couple inches of stretch on the waist. So even if you hit the lunch hard, you load up on pub subs, those shorts are going to fit you all day long.
When you're rocking the dad bod like I am, you know what I'm saying?
That's it. Yeah, and the number one feedback we've had back from our customers is ladies that are buying them for their husbands and saying, man, finally some fishing shorts that I like how he looks in. So that was a pretty big compliment too. And a lot of our products now, I've integrated a loop for the engine stop switch, the kill switch on your boat. So these shorts have a bright red loop right by the coin pocket. So you remember to clip that safety kill switch onto yourself whenever you're on the boat. I was fishing the Friendly Flamingo tournament this past weekend, and it was about 3:00. We're coming in through the channel, and I see a guy in a 15-foot striker come around that last channel marker too fast, and he just weeble wobbled straight out of the boat, went straight in the water. The other guy was sitting in front of the console, and he was probably in his 70s. It took him a minute to get control of the vessel, and it almost doubled back and hit him. So we cruised up, we picked him up, and he learned that day just how important it is to wear that engine kill switch. And it was kind of evidence to me as to why I included this on our new shorts, the Fisher Island shorts for men and the Palm Coast Sun shorts for ladies. And also the new Lighthouse Point boat tees for men and ladies. because we all forget to do it, but it's one simple step in addition to protecting yourself from the sun, that can really keep you safe when you're out there.
No, I'll say in closing, and we'll wrap here after this, but I'll actually even I'll make sure that I'm wearing that button-down shirt during the podcast, because that's one of the things I'll say that was obvious to me. Like, if somebody was putting that shirt on, that it's like, okay, this was constructed by people who have spent time on the water and are aware of certain aspects that are important. And the specific example I'm going to give is the cuff at the end, like how it actually can extend out to cover like your entire hand, right? So that if you were wearing it flats fishing in general, and you wanted that full protection all the way over, the surface of your hand, you've got it. But at the same token, you made it to where you could roll it back with a little snap, right? Like underneath the shirt right there. And so if you were just going out to have a nice dinner with your wife or whoever, and you wanted to wear it, it kind of was a little bit more like Friday night cocktail attire, versatile. You know what I mean? So super cool, and definitely something that that more than one person, especially on our committee who was wearing them, noted about how cool they thought that feature was.
Very glad to hear it.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like Science of Fishing needs some Coolabar merch, and we got to get our logo on there. So I got to hit you up, Elijah. So
yeah, we can do that.
Make that happen.
Another innovative product that we've just released now in 2025 are our Clearwater Flex polarized sunglasses. My intention with these was to find a frame style and design something that would fit anyone on the boat and stay secure. So the temples of the sunglasses, the arms themselves are actually adjustable, and you can curve them around your ear, or you can curve them in to fit your head better. And the nose is also adjustable, so you get a nice tight fit right on your face, and you don't have sun leakage on the sides that glares out your vision. They're great for everyone, both men and ladies, and we just dropped them this month.
Awesome, man.
What's the price point on those, just out of curiosity?
Those are $129 with a TR90 frame that's just about unbreakable, and high quality polycarbonate lenses.
It's a great price point.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, brother. And we're going to get back to the show.
All right, so we're back, and I want to say thank you again to Coolabar, who is our official apparel sponsor of the PBSC Summer Series. Shout out to Elijah, who we had on that Zoom video call. I know he's overseas doing some product testing as we speak. And as promised in that video, I said I was actually going to wear this button-down Coolabar, which I absolutely love. And I think I even mentioned on the video just one example of like how they have done some really cool stuff. There's actually a little snap under this cuff right here that comes off like that. And so if you wanted to wear this from like a fishing perspective, flat skies, whatever, and you wanted the button down versus more of that, high performance type material long sleeve, you get that functionality out of the shirt, and then you want to go out and have dinner, you roll it right back up just like that, snap it in, you're good to go. And material super light. You were just saying off camera, obviously you got the shirts in the bags.
I love these shirts. I mean, I was working on my boat, getting it up and running for the Showdown, and I mean, it's hot. Like, It's 92 degrees and I'm in full sun, and it's a long sleeve, and it keeps me cooler than if I was in, a short sleeve, small short.
So the breathability seems good.
Breathability, comfortability. I mean, it's amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And you guys can check them out online at coolabar.com. So we're heading into
the slam, right?
Heading into the Showdown.
Oh, Showdown. Sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're heading into the Showdown.
That's it.
So let's talk about that a little bit, guys. Blake, you're coming up. You're going for big fish again, right?
Yeah.
Of course. What's the mindset in terms of keeping it cool, keeping it together, going into this next tournament, being able to perform? Talk to me about the preparation and what you're doing to get ready for this.
Yeah, so I mean, bait's a big thing about preparation. This tournament's a little tough because all the rain that we get. It's hard keeping big baits alive in the canals. So that's nothing short of challenge, If we have to sink pens offshore, then we'll have to do that. But bait's big thing. My team's been doing great. They've been on top of their game all series. The lady anglers, male anglers, everybody's been catching. not messing up. So doing pretty good there. Just got the boat all working. So there's nothing left, but hopefully we can get our fish early in the morning. Sharks are a big problem. I think we got our other big fish because we caught them nice and early in the morning before the fishing really fired them up for the day, which is saying something because they're already so fired up as soon as you get there. So hopefully we can start off strong like we have been and catch them nice and early and be on cloud 9 for the rest of the day.
Do you guys already have, are you already penning up bait? Do you have baits in the pen already? Or?
We don't have baits in the pen already due to the fact that they probably won't live in the canal. I don't want to sink one offshore yet, but that's going to be starting this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, August is super hot, so you guys are going to be gearing up for a little bit of different conditions, I would say, right?
Yeah, it'll probably be hot. We'll see what the wind's doing. Sometimes the wind is a real challenge with this one. With kite fishing, you know, you'll have to use double balloons or you'll have to just downrigger fish. Downrigger fish is not the worst thing for us because big fish eat downriggers, big baits on downriggers. You know, I love to do that for a single big fish. So we'll see how that plays out. And with how hot it is, everybody's going to be wearing those shirts for sure.
This episode of The Science of Fishing is brought to you by Turtlebox, the ultimate outdoor speaker for anglers who don't mess around. Whether you're 150 miles from shore fishing for blue marlin or you're at home cleaning up your catch, Turtlebox brings you loud, crystal clear audio that's built for the elements. Saltwater, rain, beer, it doesn't matter. Turtlebox is built to be waterproof, drop-proof, and plain badass. I take mine on every trip I go, and when you bring one on the boat, you won't leave home without it either. Turtlebox, built for adventure, designed for sound. The official speaker of The Science of Fishing.
Now, if you if you have wind, do you start out drifting automatically, or will you sometimes start with the downrigger and fish work the ledge, or how do you guys go about it?
Now we'll usually still stay on the kite side and the drift side. We'll have a deep bait for sure. I mean, the flatline side, I tell everybody, I'm like, hey, listen, I don't care about any other bait. This is the bait that I want out all the time.
Right.
You know, it's the big ounce, big bait, you know, and that's where all the big fish sit. That's where we get our big bites from. I mean, that's what our 49 came off of, was a big bait or a deep bait. So, but I've seen big fish eat kites too. I think both of our fish in the slam, they came off of the kite. All right. So early in the morning, you know, you get those big kite bites, and later in the afternoon, that play seems to switch over. But we'll see how it holds true.
Sounds good.
Makes sense. Well, Alex, you're going for a little bit different. You're going for the big bag.
That's right.
So, you know, as long as you've done this, you're coming off, you know, you're in the lead, I think, for the Showdown Crown. You've been here before. Mindset, what are you thinking? I mean, I know you like to keep it cool, calm, collected. You don't think about the past or the future, right? Kind of.
Well, I use the past as a guide for how the bite should be.
Okay.
And typically in August, it's very hot and very calm. So slow trolling most of the time is what it takes to get your 4 kings. And sometimes it's all it takes is 4 kings in this leg, depending on what the water quality is like. The water's dirty like it was 2 years ago when I won the crown. Water was green everywhere. So I knew I just stayed kingfishing all day long and had just barely enough to get the crown that year. And I don't think there was maybe but 2 tunas caught in the whole fleet.
Right.
But the water right now is super clean. And there's been tunas being caught, but we're still 2 weeks out, so everything could change. But kingfishing's good right now. So we'll be slow trolling unless it's blowing more than 15.
Yeah.
And then if we get our kings early, we'll try to go get a wahoo or a tuna. But getting 4 kings is goal number 1.
Right.
The Mac Daddy boys are sitting behind you in second place. I know they're
Oh yeah.
They're starving for a ring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you think if they were sitting here, would they say they want wind, or do they slow troll more with the riggers and stuff, the downriggers as well?
Well, the one kid on their team that used to fish with me, if it was him making all the decisions, he would want to be trolling.
Who's that?
Chris Wolfram.
Okay.
But the other guy,
their captain or who?
No, I don't know who runs their boat.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, I know they like drifting.
Okay.
I think it's the team south of Palm Beach. They love kite fishing no matter what. They'll fight the kite all day long in 5-mile-an-hour wind.
The guys who live north of Palm Beach Inlet, they
like slow trolling a lot more.
It makes sense. So you alluded to it a little bit before that, you know, you kind of communicate with some of the captains and stuff. And you talked about it on the Sailfish podcast, the one that we did about communication amongst, you know, the sailfishing captains. in meat fishing in this, series, I think there's a little bit different personalities sometimes. So how is it with communication with other boats? Are you talking to them, or is it a small group? Is no one talking? How does it work now?
I think everybody's got their 3 to 5 guys that they talk to, and I've been doing it long enough where I have my core guys that I talk to, and I tell them how it is no matter what, because I don't want them lying to me, so I'm not gonna lie to them.
Right.
And it definitely helps if you make a bad call or something and you run 20 miles north and you get there and you can caught something pre-fish and you get there on tournament day and there's nothing there, and you call your boat that's back on Juneau Ledge where the fish are always at.
Right.
You run back.
Well, are there any of those guys, that are these all guys that you've ran with for a long time, pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, Carl in Slab City,
Yeah.
Bill in Spice Drum. There's other boats that I'm not ringing any bells right now, but
Do you rely like when it comes to, the final decision of, am I going left? Am I going right? Are we going this depth? Are we going that depth? Like, let's say you get a report that's not necessarily what you expected versus what you were planning on.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, like, will you go with that real-time report you get from your counterparts, or will you rely more on
only if
experiential, like history
Yeah.
and gut?
only way I'm going off somebody else's report is if I didn't see anything that I could utilize as information, like the slam was.
Right.
I don't think we even caught a king pre-fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And then my buddy had a 40 and a couple of 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well,
That's good information.
yeah. It's like, there's no brainers going up there.
Yeah. 99% of the fleet wants to know who that guy is so they can tell him to stop calling you.
Yeah. He wasn't happy with that because they weren't able to catch anything when they went there that day, and they were pissed that I got the fish, but that's how it goes.
Yeah. Hey.
But the summer tournament or the August tournament is every year for a long time. It's just been, you get your 4 kings in Juneau, and a lot of people are scared of Juneau because of the sharks, and I've been there enough where I know how to fight them and get them away from the sharks most of the time, and so I have a little bit more confidence, I think, than some teams do going there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not afraid to slow troll all day long. I know a lot of the teams there have a hard time doing that because you're fishing 3 or 4 baits versus a 9 bait spread.
Right.
And when the summertime, those fish are deep because the water surface temperature is 87 degrees sometimes. And
Right. People get impatient, want to change it up.
Yep.
Well, it's coming up, man. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Jamie, let's talk to you from the tournament director's perspective. How exciting is it to see these guys all come together, all battle it out? What's it like, the standings right now? Who's at the top? I know they're in the lead, and then you said Mac Daddy's next?
So Mac, I'd say they have a commanding lead, 11 points ahead of Mac Daddy, and then there's a couple other boats, in that same range, not far behind. I would say that, I mean, it's definitely their tournament, their title to lose.
Right.
But I would not say it's a slam dunk by any means. I mean, they're a great team. He's a phenomenal captain, but I've seen it lost before with greater leads than that.
Right.
On the Sailfish Series side.
Summer Series too.
Yeah. I mean, I remember vividly flipping over to the Sailfish side, and you can use your example, but the year that Utopia won it, they were 14 points behind in Key West. And the guys that were up ahead of them, they were having average tournaments, and they needed some help. Utopia got it because they got hot and the other teams weren't doing it, and they flipped the table.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely one of those things where I think you have to stick to your plan, be confident in your team, be confident in what you're doing, but don't be complacent either.
Right.
Because everybody behind you is, they're probably hungrier than you because, they know what it's going to take to overcome that deficit. Right.
Right. Yeah.
And then on the big fish side, it'll be interesting to see because, August, September timeframe, July, August, September are usually notorious for some significant wahoo surfacing. I can't remember if was it last year, the year before that fishermen made a time they posted that 80-some pounder.
88.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal fish. You know, I'm going to put my money on a wahoo being the big fish in August. It was the Always Something team who's they're currently in the lead for our Ray Marine sponsored trifecta, which is basically we take the 3 heaviest fish of 3 different species, and they can come from 1 tournament, 2 tournaments, or 3. The only requirement is that you have to fish all 3 tournaments. And the Always Something crew, they weighed in I think it was a 50-some pound wahoo in the slam last month. Wow. Or back in June, and they had a nice king and I believe a tuna to go with it. So they're sitting at like 87 pounds and change on that, which if it holds for them will be worth $10,000 in Ray Marine credit. They can use it however they want. These guys are right behind them in second. They with their king cobia tuna, I think their combination, their 3 was like, I think you're around 75. But there's you guys aren't, I think you're right there in the mix as well. It'll be interesting. There's teams that aren't even thinking about that, but what they weigh with that 1 kicker fish in a couple weeks could catapult somebody into a nice little bonus that they hadn't anticipated.
Right. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming, sitting down with me and Jamie, talking about this, super excited to see what happens coming up in the next couple of weeks. Jamie, it's been a pleasure doing this partnership with you. It's been awesome being here at Summit Studios. The staff is amazing. This facility is amazing. I know they're launching their new facility. It's available for rent. It's a turnkey solution, guys. So you guys really got to come check it out. And Jamie, I hope we're back here soon.
Yeah, well, it always helps that the guy who is a partner in this whole operation fishes the summer series and the Quest, and he's a passionate fisherman. So it makes that arrangement a little bit easier, but I couldn't agree more with you. The whole team here from top to bottom has been very accommodating. You can tell that they are consummate pros. I've been in other studios before, beyond impressive. I can't wait to see what that giant curved video wall panel looks like in their new Studio B. And if I have any say in it, Mr. Mark Miller, Summit Studios, we're going to be sitting in front of that curved video wall for the 2026 season, talking about sailfish tournaments and meatfish tournaments with Science of Fishing.
I'm here for it. Well, guys, check out the video we're about to play from Summit Studios, and we'll see you next time on the Science of Fishing, hopefully at Summit Studios.
Summit Studios is a state-of-the-art production facility equipped with a breathtaking 13 by 10 foot 8K LED video wall, offering vibrant, ultra-high definition imagery designed to create customizable virtual environments, 6K camera recording, and everything you need to bring your creative vision to life. Ideal for podcasts, talk shows, commercials, and corporate videos. Visit summitstudiosgroup.com to learn more or book now.